What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of NBA. Yes, you heard it right. NBA is back, and college basketball action here on Thursday, February 19th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So as a huge thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It really, really helps get the videos promoted out there on YouTube. It's a huge part of keeping me committed to grinding out these videos every single solitary day. So take that second and hit that like button. And also check below and see if you're subscribed to the channel. We're almost at 69,000 subscribers. Nice. We should be up to 70,000 here before you know it, and then it's just the continuation of that road to 100K. We'll see if we can make it there this year. That is the dream. So take that second and check below, see if you're subscribed. It's absolutely free, and it also keeps you from missing out on these videos that I'm uploading here every single solitary day. Also, get down there in the comments. Let me know anything you want to say about today's videos, anything you are looking at across the sports world in terms of the bets you're considering today, and I can definitely get back to you. Also, I can reach out to the premium handicappers over there at stumpthespread.com and answer your questions if it's something I have no idea about, like hockey, for example, would be something I know almost zero about. So definitely get down there in the comments and check the pinned comment as well. That's where you'll find my favorite picks every single day from the videos. You'll also find my lock of the day and my dog of the day in that pinned comment, but you'll also find a link there to get over to stumpthespread.com and check out all the free stuff and premium stuff we offer over there. We got free picks, we got the free email newsletter, and also the premium content over there as well. In terms of a recap, I'm sure you can see behind me that we are recording in the daylight for once. We're working on trying to make an adjustment to baby Stump's sleep schedule a little bit, and also with the NBA lines out early since we're coming off the All-Star break, this is a really nice just chance for me to get a video done very, very early, and it's nice to put the video out early for the YouTube channel members. Now, we'll see what's going on. Obviously, we've got Arkansas, George Mason, the under there in that Maryland Northwestern game. Kansas minus 6.5, Utah plus 10.5, and Clemson there as our pinned comment plays for Wednesday. So hopefully those come through. Hopefully we're coming off a big, big day. Obviously, I can't really reveal the premium picks. Otherwise, we would just be giving those away here on the 18th. But hopefully we're in for a nice bounce back there on the premium side. Guys, let's go ahead and dive in. A full slate of NBA and also a couple pretty big college basketball games. So let's get after it. First up, we're going to the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Rockets come into this game fresh off of a loss. They did go 1-1 in that little two-game mini series there against the Clippers as they headed into the All-Star break. In that loss, the Rockets, this is a team that still has some holes, still has some issues. They had zero answers for Kawhi Leonard, which with, Amen Thompson supposed to be the best defensive stopper in the league. He could not really stop Kawhi. We also liked what we saw from Chris Dunn. Brook Lopez has been productive now. Benedict Mathurin looks like a great piece coming off the bench for this team, so maybe that trade going to pay off a little bit sooner than we thought there for the Clippers. They played really, really well. So, yeah, not a great look there from the Houston Rockets. We didn't like necessarily what we saw from KD. Not a super efficient shooting night from him. We're going to talk more about the KD drama here in just a second. He also turned the ball over 8 times. Jabari Smith Jr. played relatively well. Sengun played okay. We liked what we saw from Reed Shepherd off the bench. He had a great night, but overall, just not enough there for Houston in the end, and they end up taking a loss. Now, the big news during the All-Star break from Houston was it's not confirmed, so the alleged exposure of one of Kevin Durant's burners where he was just relentlessly trashing his current and ex-teammates. The teammates thing isn't really a big deal for right now, but how are guys like Sengun, who is very much maligned in those messages, going to feel? How are guys like Jabari Smith Jr., who some really crazy stuff was said about, going to feel about that? I struggle to think that his teammates are going to have a very positive opinion of Kevin Durant here at the moment. So we'll see what goes on in terms of just like team morale and stuff like that. The Rockets do come into this game pretty much injury-free. They're, rested and ready to go. Missing Steven Adams for the season is a problem for this team. We'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who are playing their best basketball of the season by far going into the All-Star break. They're fresh off a 110-107 win there over the Atlanta Hawks. A very, very close game, but we liked a lot of what we saw from Charlotte. Brandon Miller putting up a 30-piece, 24 for LaMelo Ball. Con Canopal putting up 18 on extremely efficient shooting numbers. PJ Hall had 11 points off the bench. They shot the ball okay from 3, and they won this one without Diabate and without Miles Bridges, who were still suspended. So a lot of good stuff from Charlotte in that game, and just in general this season. It's a very exciting young team. They are not tanking. They're letting them go out there and try and win. We'll see what they can do in this one. They are not going to be at full strength because of suspensions. Miles Bridges suspended for 4 games, so he will not be out there for this one. Diabate suspended for 4 games as well, so he will not be out there for this one either. Kobe White, it appears that he's still going to be sidelined. He got held out through the All-Star break. Sounds like actually no, he could potentially be back for this game. Check on that closer to game time, but it looks like Kobe White should probably be back for this one, so we'll see what things look like there. The Hornets are getting 3.5 points at home in this game. We've got a total of 216.5. Houston is 15-13 against spread on the road, 10-9 against spread after a loss, 15-13 to the over on the road. Charlotte is 14-12 against spread at home, 13-12 against spread after a win, 18-8 to the under at home. I actually think this is a pretty reasonable spot to look at under 216.5. I just don't see a crazy amount of offense, coming out of this game. Houston hasn't been lighting up the scoreboard, and the Hornets missing a couple very important pieces there in Miles Bridges and Diabate. Maybe not going to light up the scoreboard either. Now, in terms of a side, I will take the Charlotte Hornets here, getting 3.5 points. I think that weird Durant situation is going to be a big problem for the Rockets here unless it gets cleared up somehow, and I'm not really sure how that can happen. I also think Kalkbrenner and maybe even Grant Williams, although I kind of struggle to say that with a lot of conviction. Them getting more minutes, I don't think is a terrible thing here. Give me the Hornets getting 3.5. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Brooklyn Nets going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Nets are 15-38 on the season. They're coming off a 115-100 loss there against the Pacers as they head into the All-Star break. Things have not, didn't really develop the way I thought they would for the Nets. I thought there was a great chance that Michael Porter Jr. was going to get traded there around the trade deadline. Them letting Cam Thomas walk looking pretty crazy because he's going absolutely nuts there for the Bucks. Really feels like the tanking Nets held him back significantly in that loss against the Pacers. Not a lot of great things to report. Obviously, the Nets are holding a lot of guys out. Zaire Williams did have a pretty good day. Day'Ron Sharpe had a very efficient shooting night. We've liked some of what we've seen from this team. I think, there's some decent pieces out there, but I don't think there's the makings of an elite squad on this roster. They have an awful lot of work to do. Nick Claxton has been missing some time. We'll see if he comes back for this one. It sounds like, or no, he's officially out, dealing with that ankle issue. He will not play in this one against the Cavaliers. So other than that, they're healthy. We'll see what they can do on the road against Cleveland, who were looking amazing heading into the All-Star break. They made a big trade. They've won 5 straight. They're coming off a blowout win there over the Wizards, and the acquisition of James Harden. The one thing you have to say for Harden is he is almost always available, and he's played really well, racked up 11 assists in their win over Washington in only 28 minutes. Donovan Mitchell put up a 30-piece. Sam Merrill had 32. That's somebody who's really going to benefit from having Harden out there facilitating. Also, he went 9 of 10 from 3, so that's not going to happen every night. But very, very good numbers. I still worry a bit about the bench here for Cleveland, but maybe it is even a little bit improved. We'll have to wait and see. They do come into this game. They've had some injury concerns. Mobley and Dean Wade both on the injury report. Dean Wade sounds like he's going to be ready to go for this one, so that should be at least a little bit of a boost. Mobley, he's on track to play in this one as well. So we could be seeing, it looks very likely that we will be seeing the full-strength Cleveland Cavaliers here at home. So that's very, very good news. That is part of why Cleveland is 16.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 229.5. Brooklyn, 12-13-1 against the spread on the road, 20-16-1 against the spread after a loss, 15-11 to the under on the road. Cleveland, and now these numbers don't matter too much because Cleveland's a completely different team now, but they're 10-19 against spread at home, 14-19 against spread after win, 17-12 to the under at home. Guys, this is a lot of points, but with everybody healthy and back and Harden out there running the show and everything looking really, really good, I'm going to lean a bit towards the Cavaliers here, despite this being a massive number. Massive numbers have been great. You usually want to take the points here in the NBA this season, but with this spot and the Brooklyn Nets being a little bit banged up and just being pretty terrible in general and the Cavaliers flying high, give me Cleveland here as a small, small lean. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Atlanta Hawks going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, the Hawks, 26-30 on the season. They've been a pretty big disappointment. There were rumblings that maybe the Trae Young situation was going to work out for them, even with Jalen Johnson clearly being the best player on this team, but that was not the case. They ended up trading Trae Young away, maybe didn't get a massive return for him. They went into the All-Star break 3 straight losses, losing twice to the Hornets and a blowout loss at the hands of the Timberwolves. Now, their last loss to the Hornets was a very, very close game. Jalen Johnson did play in that one and nearly posted a triple-double, but they ended up losing by 3. Atlanta did not shoot the ball well from 3 in that game. They got out-rebounded as well, and this was in a game where the Hornets didn't have Bridges or Diabate, so not a great look. This team still clearly lacks something. Picking up CJ McCollum does not seem to have been the answer. Dyson Daniels is still playing very good defense. He had a 21-point game in that one, but just not enough there in the end. So we'll see what the Hawks can do. They are playing on the road in this game. They are relatively healthy. I don't believe we've seen Kuminga make his debut here. He'll be reevaluated in about a week. That was announced Wednesday. Okay, so he's still not going to be back for this? My God. Okay, nope. Apparently Kuminga not going to be back, even if he is, and this news is incorrect. It doesn't really move the needle too much for me. Other than that, they are fully healthy and ready to go as they head to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. Now, Philly has been much better than I thought they would be this season, mostly because, Embiid's been way healthier than I ever expected. I didn't really think we'd see Embiid play this many basketball games in a season ever again. He's looked really good out there. He's playing quite a few minutes. Now, the 76ers did lose 3 out of their last 4 heading into the All-Star break, losing to the Knicks, the Trailblazers, beating the Suns, and losing at the Lakers. Now, Embiid was a little bit in and out of the lineup during that stretch there against the Knicks. In their last game, he did not end up playing, so that was a pretty big problem. Also, they were just very, very unhealthy. The Paul George situation feels very untenable here for the 76ers. Not only do you have one of the worst contracts in the NBA, bro, you're getting suspended for using banned substances too. Sorry if you were whatever you were dealing with, but we got to figure out a better way to deal with it than something that's going to get you kicked out of the NBA for 25 games. Now, coming into this one, we do see Embiid and Quentin Grimes both still on the injury report. Embiid, didn't play there against the Knicks. We'll see. I very much expect him to play in this game and really not have any sort of, minutes restriction. Quentin Grimes was dealing with an illness going into the All-Star break. He's going to be back and ready to rock for this game as well. So we'll see what the 76ers can do here at home. They're 4.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 237.5. Atlanta, 17-14 against spread on the road. 13-16 against spread after a loss, 18-13 to the over on the road. Philly, 13-16 against spread at home, but they are 16-7 against spread after a loss. Now, those numbers against the spread, coming off a win or off a loss, don't mean nearly as much after the All-Star break because they're not really coming off like that. That happened a week ago, so they're probably not that worried about that. They're also 16-13 to the over at home. I don't think over 237.5 is something I'm interested in the first game after the All-Star break, but I do like the 76ers here playing at home. The Hawks have no real answers on the roster for Embiid. I think that's going to be a big, big problem here. Also, guys like, Maxey and Edgecombe could have good games against the Hawks. So, yeah, give me the 76ers here to get the winning cover at home. Hey, guys, before we hop in and break down the rest of this NBA slate and some college basketball, we got to shout out the sponsor of today in every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description or the link in the pinned comment, or just type StumpTheSpread.com into your browser of choice to get over there, and that's where you'll find the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced handicappers. Keep in mind, guys, the picks from these videos are very often not going to match what you see there in the premium section at StumpTheSpread.com because we have a team of expert handicappers over there covering all the major sports. Every single one of them has over a decade's worth of experience covering his given sport, and there's a crazy amount of research that's going into every single solitary one of those plays. So definitely consider getting over there and checking out a premium membership at StumpTheSpread.com. We went into the Olympics break on a very, very hot run there on NHL. Had a very hot run there for a bit on the college basketball side of things. Was humming along a couple days where we were just on the wrong side of the hook and then on the wrong side of some overtime games and some very, very brutal beats. That will be getting back on track immediately as well. And NBA also went into the All-Star break very, very hot, and now we're back after with NBA action. So this is a very good time to dive in. Plenty of major sports going. Lots and lots of great information in there for the premium members, but there's also good stuff over there at Stump the Spread absolutely for free. There's free picks every single solitary day there under the free picks tab. Definitely want to make sure you're getting in on those. That's a great way to sample what you would get as a premium member. Also, you got to get on that free email list, guys. It's a treasure trove of amazing information, not only on the major sports like NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, stuff like that, but also on the niche sports, golf. The write-ups on golf in that email newsletter have been printing money for our everybody that's on that absolutely free email newsletter, guys. It's been nuts. You've been seeing on screen this whole time all the plays that have cashed over the last couple weeks. It's just been insane. Highly, highly valuable. I know nothing about golf, but man, the write-ups in those emails, it's just an insane breakdown of tons and tons and tons of different guys. So definitely get in on that. NASCAR is covered in there. Tennis is covered in there. WNBA is covered in there, although that might end up being a premium sport this season. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely get on that email newsletter. It's very easy to sign up. Just go to StumpTheSpread.com, set up a free account. They're asking for your name and your email address. That's it. You get one email straight to your inbox every single solitary day. So make sure that you are not missing out on that great, great value. Also, get over to StumpTheSpread.com and pick up a Stump the Spread hoodie if you're interested. We're selling them right now for $39.99. That is at cost. We're making basically nothing on those hoodies. That also includes free shipping. You could have yours to your address in as little as 7 days. So definitely get in on that if you're interested. And also, if you're a massive fan of what you're seeing from me here every single solitary day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. And guys, as long as we can maintain the number of channel members that we have right now, we are going to be running 2 giveaways every single solitary week. That's very, very cool. We made it to 119, 120 channel members. I did say 125. We're doing it anyway, even though we're only at 119. So very, very excited to be doing these giveaways. You're about to see exactly how they work. We put the name of every single YouTube channel member on this huge wheel, or pretty big wheel that you're seeing on screen right now. We click this button in the middle, and whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. So it looks like this week's second giveaway winner of the week is going to be Matt S. Matt S., get down there in the comments. Let us know that you see that you won. We'll reach out to you through the comments and get in touch with you, let you know exactly how to go about claiming your Stump the Spread hoodie. It can be to you in as little as 7 days, so reach out to us quick and we can get that right over to you. Guys, huge shout out to all my YouTube channel members. Keep on signing up. We've got another giveaway coming on Monday, and then on next Thursday, there will be another one. That's how it's going to work from here on out, as long as we can maintain enough YouTube channel members. So definitely get in on that if you're interested. Thank you to all of my YouTube channel members. Make sure you've hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you've gotten over to stumpthespread.com and checked out everything over there. And let's get back after it, guys. We got a lot more games to cover here of NBA and college basketball. Next up, we're going to be looking at the Indiana Pacers going on the road to taking the Washington Wizards. The Pacers went into the All-Star break playing pretty well. They won 2 straight games, taking down the Knicks in an absolute barn burner of a game, then getting the 115-110 win there over the Brooklyn Nets. Now, they've been playing relatively well recently. They're only 15-40 on the season, so not going anywhere important, but they've made some interesting trades. They continue to kind of soft tank out this season, and when they get Halliburton back next year, things are going to be looking pretty scary for the Eastern Conference once again. Obviously, we've seen Pascal Siakam put up great numbers all season long. They beat the Nets without him, though. Ben Shepherd had 9, Jarris Walker had 23, 19 off the bench for Micah Potter, and Ethan Thompson, 15 off the bench for him. Just very good numbers. They shoot 36% from 3 and do a good job against a slightly harder tanking Brooklyn Nets team that also had a really bad, well, not actually, no, they didn't have a bad shooting night. So well played there by the Pacers. Obviously, this isn't a team that's necessarily built to contend for this season. We'll see when we get guys like Nesmith, Siakam, and Zubac back out there. All of them are currently on the injury report. We really don't know when Siakam's going to make his debut. Nesmith, we expect to play in this game fully. Siakam, he's listed as active. There's no reason to think that he is going to be out. He played there on All-Star Weekend, and he's fine. Zubac, sounds like he did practice there on Tuesday, but it's going to be a while until he returns to game action. So a semi-healthy version of the Pacers here as they go on the road to take on the Wizards, who've lost 3 in a row and 4 out of their last 5. At 14-39 on the season, they're one of the worst teams in the NBA. It'll be interesting to see what they do here down the stretch, how they intend to tank, because it seems like the NBA is really trying to kind of crack down on this whole like tanking situation, which I love. It's not a great look for the league. Keyshawn George played well there against the Cavaliers. We liked what we saw from Jameer Watkins. He played pretty well. Champagnie and Cooper both put up decent numbers off the bench, but in the end, they still lose this game very, very comfortably. So we'll see what Washington can put together in this one. Their injury report looks okay. Sarr is still going to be sidelined there. Apparently, is that actually true? Oh, yeah, right hamstring strain. Yeah, he's going to be out for at least another week, and they're definitely not going to be hustling him back. So looking at the numbers, the Wizards are getting only 4.5 points here at home. A total of 234.5. The Pacers are 11-16 against spread on the road, but 9-5 against spread after a win. 17-10 to the under on the road. Washington is 12-15 against spread at home. 18-20 against spread after a loss. 14-13 to the over at home. This feels a little bit sketchy because we are kind of betting on a kind of tanking team, but I'll definitely take the Pacers here at -4.5. Anything less than like 8, I think, is a good spot for the Pacers. They're by far the better team. I don't think Rick Carlisle really has it in him to tank in this way. So give me the Pacers here to win this one. I think they win it pretty comfortably. Next up, guys, in one of the biggest game, probably the actual biggest game of the night, we got the Detroit Pistons heading to New York to take on the Knicks. The Pistons, by record, have been the best team in all the NBA this season so far, which is a crazy thing to say, but very, very impressive. Detroit leads the season series here between the Knicks 2-0, a blowout win back on January 5th, and another total blowout win there on February 6th. So things definitely pointed in the right direction for Detroit. A very busy All-Star weekend for a lot of them. They won 3 straight, including that blowout win over the Knicks. They went into Toronto and got the 113-95 win their last time out. So everything pointed in the right direction. Paul Reed playing well. Cade obviously putting up great numbers. Duncan Robinson a decent shooting night, and the bench not so great, but they win this one walking away against the Raptors. So a lot of good news there for the Pistons. They come into this one with some kind of annoying suspensions going on. Jalen Duren still going to be suspended for this game, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he did did end up playing there during All-Star, but I believe he is still suspended for this game. And also Isaiah Stewart, he's going to be suspended. He's out for a while. That was actually insane what he did. So he deserves to be out for a while. So we'll see what they can do without being at full strength here as they head to New York to take on the Knicks, who are 35-20 on the season. They blew out the short-handed 76ers to go into the All-Star break on a bit of an upward note, but they've had their ups and downs this season, don't get me wrong. They have looked like a good team. They kept the group together. There were a lot of weird rumblings around this team heading into the trade deadline. Picking up an effort guy like Jose Alvarado, big boost for their bench. He had 26 points in 19 minutes there in that blowout win over the 76ers, which some of that can be just attributed to playing hard, but he looked really good. Brunson was actually bad there against the 76ers, but didn't have to be great. Overall, they come into this one looking relatively healthy. The question is, will OG be back? It sounds like, yes, he will play. So he is back. That toe apparently no longer an issue. So he should be out there. The Knicks are 4.5-point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 222.5. Detroit, 13-12 against spread on the road, 19-20 against spread after win, 14-10-1 to the under on the road. The Knicks are 19-9 against the spread at home, 21-14 against spread after win. They're a 500 over-under team at home. We're taking the Knicks here at -4.5. I know Detroit has dominated in this matchup so far. Without Isaiah, that makes a big, big difference, guys. No Isaiah Stewart is going to be a significant problem for this team. Jalen Duren missing time as well. That is not good. I don't want to get I don't really blame him, honestly, for getting suspended. Not really his fault, but really, guys, I just think this is a great spot to back the Knicks. It's a huge game for them. I think they find a way to get the job done. Rolling right along here, we're looking at the Toronto Raptors heading to Chicago to take on the Bulls. Toronto at 32-23 on the season really haven't been too bad. They've definitely taken a step in the right direction this year. They have had some injury concerns. They are coming off a loss to the Pistons, but I just don't really think this team is on the same level as teams like the Pistons. So they did go into the All-Star break on a loss, but they didn't play horrible in that game. Not a great shooting night, really, but in general, this is still a very good team. I mean, a core of Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and Emmanuel Quickley. That's a pretty good core. I do wish they would have went out and picked up some sort of more competent big man. Jakob Poeltl just doesn't really get it going for me, but at least this team does come into this game fully healthy, fully rested, and ready to go. As they head to Chicago to take on the Bulls, who have been atrocious down the stretch. They're all the way down to 24-31 on the season. They lost 6 straight going into the All-Star game, including losses to teams they should beat, like if they're really a real team, like the Nets. And yeah, their last time out, a 124-105 loss at the Boston Celtics. Now, I know Chicago has dealt with some injuries, and actually quite a few injuries, really a skeleton crew for them there in that game against the Celtics. So we'll see what they can do in this one, see if they're getting healthy. Giddey being out is obviously a huge problem for this team. That hamstring issue has him still listed as questionable for this game. So that is really annoying. Feel like we should have a more obvious, like whether he's in or out should be more obvious at this point coming off the All-Star break. Jalen Smith also on the injury report dealing with that calf issue. Sounds like he will play in this game, so that's good news for Bulls fans. And Trey Jones, guys, he's dealing with that hamstring issue, is also questionable. So some pretty big unknowns. The Bulls are getting 5.5 points here at home. Toronto, 15-11 against spread on the road, 9-13 against spread after a loss, 16-10 to the under on the road. The Bulls, 14-13 against spread at home, 11-19 against spread after a loss, 16-11 to the under at home. I actually don't think under 234.5 is crazy. Maybe a little rust, maybe a little bit of overindulgence going on over the All-Star break could have these guys a little bit off and maybe not shooting the ball great. So definitely give me a look here at under. In terms of a side, I am going to lean slightly towards the Raptors at -5.5. I just think they're by far the better team if they're really locked in and trying to win, and they certainly should be here going up against the Bulls. Cruising through these games, guys, we're looking at the Phoenix Suns heading to San Antonio to take on the Spurs. The Suns are 32-23 on the season. They went into the All-Star break fresh off of getting just destroyed by the Thunder, but they weren't at full strength for that game, so I'm going to cut them a little bit of slack. I mean, I guess neither were the Thunder, but Dylan Brooks, a decent night, but not a great shooting night. Jordan Goodwin putting up very good numbers. Colin Gillespie, a bad night though for sure. And the bench continues to be a bit of a problem for this Phoenix Suns team. We'll see what they do here on the road, see if they can get healthy. Dylan Brooks obviously being suspended. Not great, not a great look. He got his 16th technical foul of the season already. So yeah, he's going to be out for this one if that penalty does not get rescinded. I have not seen anything that has shown that that's gotten rescinded. So sounds like he is unlikely to be out there. Keep an eye on that. We see Jalen Green on the injury report as well, dealing with that hamstring issue. Just can't seem to get that one right. We'll see. That was he was marked as out there for that game against the Thunder. We'll see. I think the chances of him coming back for this one are not 0, but also not 100. Devin Booker should be good to go. Royce O'Neal should be good to go. Mark Williams should be good to go. Gillespie should also be good to go. Grayson Allen, though, he stays on the injury report. He has going to be reevaluated here, or is being reevaluated now the All-Star break has passed, but not a lot of clarity on whether or not he's going to be able to be out there. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the San Antonio Spurs, who had 38 and 16 on the season, went into the All-Star break playing some of their best ball of the year, winning 6 in a row, taking down the Warriors, taking down the Lakers, beating Dallas twice, beating the Thunder, and beating the Magic. So everything really pointed in the right direction right now for the Spurs. They played great in that win over the Warriors. De'Aaron Fox had 27, a big night from him. Wemby did his thing out there, had 26. We like what we've seen from this bench. One of the best benches in basketball, and doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, Keldon Johnson and Dylan Harper both putting up good numbers, and Harrison Barnes finally on the bench where he belongs, can actually be a little bit productive coming in and bringing in some shooting. So a lot of good news there from the Spurs. They had a bit of a busy All-Star weekend, but they're fully healthy and ready to go coming into this game. The Spurs are 7.5-point favorites here at home. We got a total of 227.5. Phoenix 17 and 10 against the spread on the road, 15 and 7 against the spread after a loss, 14 and 13 to the over on the road. Those numbers are all great, but they are not at full strength for this game. The Spurs are 14 10 and 1 against the spread at home, 19 16 and 2 against the spread after a win, 15 and 10 to the under at home. I really like the Spurs in this spot, based partially on the Suns not being at full strength, but also Wemby's coming off a loss in his mind. That was not the way he wanted All-Star weekend to go. I fully expect the Spurs to come out very motivated in this game and to get a blowout win here over a shorthanded Phoenix Suns team playing on the road. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Boston Celtics heading to Golden State to take on the Warriors. Now, all the news around Boston right now completely 100% just revolves around, is Jason Tatum going to come back this season? And if he does, what does that mean here for the Celtics? There's a lot of prognostication being made about, Jaylen Brown feels like this is his season for this to be his team, yada, yada. I think if Tatum comes back, he's obviously going to be coming off the bench and stuff like that. They should ease him back in. I don't think that's going to be the huge catastrophe, although there will be some growing pains that some people think it's going to be. The Celtics went into the All-Star break looking maybe a little bit up and down. I mean, they did have that one loss, but overall this team's been really good. Picking up Vooch, I think, is a very good acquisition. He had 19 on very efficient shooting numbers there against his old team the last time the Celtics played, and they won that one 124-105 over the Bulls. Hauser played well. Jaylen Brown put up 24. I am worried about the disappearance of Derek White's jump shot here recently, but this team has plenty of depth. They've been playing really well, and they play great defense. So a lot of positives here for the Boston Celtics. I know they miss Anthony Simons coming off the bench, but this team is fully healthy and ready to go, and they have a legit big man now. There's not a lot of needs to be met for this team that the return of Jason Tatum couldn't fill. Now, they're going on the road in this one to take on the Warriors. They come into this game struggling, obviously. Now, they've been dealing with injuries. Steph's been missing time, and obviously with Jimmy out for the season, that's a lot of bad news for the Warriors, who weren't even a very good team before Jimmy went down. So significant concerns for Golden State. They lost 126-113 against the Spurs their last time out, and honestly kept that game more competitive than I expected. Draymond had 17, took 14 shots. I don't know how long it's been since he's taken 14 shots. Melton was extremely efficient, went 6 of 7 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, played 25 minutes. He needed to take more shots. Moses Moody had a good shooting night. Pat Spencer, not a great night from him. Pajemski actually played pretty well, but you hear me reading off these names. This is not a very good team. Now, when Steph comes back, maybe that'll make a difference, or if Porzingis was magically healthy, but I mean, who's going to hold their breath for that? Now, Steph sounds like he, participated in is going to participate in Wednesday's scrimmage. So we don't have an update. I think it's fairly likely that Steph comes back and plays in this game. Not 100%, but I do think there is a good chance. Porzingis, he also practiced on Tuesday, is also going to participate in that scrimmage that's going on probably right now. So we'll see what the news is about that. But I think there's a good chance both of those guys end up playing in this game. And part of the reason I think that is the Warriors are only getting 2.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 217.5. Boston 17-10 against spread on the road, 18-16 against spread after a win, 17-10 to the under on the road. The Warriors are a 500 against spread team at home, 13-12 against spread after a loss, 17-11 to the over at home. I'm not backing the Warriors right now, guys, especially with unknowns. We don't know for sure if Curry and Porzingis are playing. We also don't know how the whole Porzingis fit is going to work. I will take the Celtics here at -2.5. The Warriors just aren't good enough to justify any real faith in them right now. Besides DeAnthony Melton, I don't like hardly anybody on this roster, so besides Steph, obviously. So give me the Celtics here playing on the road. Heading into our last couple of NBA games before we jump over to the college basketball side of things, we've got the Orlando Magic heading to Sacramento to take on the Kings. Now, the Magic, they come into this game 28-25 on the season, but some really, really bad news, guys. Franz Wagner is going to be sidelined indefinitely after recent tests show that he requires additional time and rehabilitation for soreness in his left high ankle sprain. So that's real bad news. This team needs to be fully healthy. They really haven't been fully healthy all season long. That's why they're only 28-25 on the season. They're coming off a loss there to the Bucks, which we were on the Bucks in that game, so we'll definitely take it. But really, really bad news there for the Magic. It hasn't been a great season for Paolo Banchero. The newly acquired Desmond Bane has been all over the place this season, although he's coming off a great showing there against the Bucks. Wendell Carter Jr., a pretty bad season and still can't shoot the ball. Mo Wagner has come back and looked really, really good. So we'll see what the Magic can do here on the road. They at least get a cupcake matchup here to start things off, and they're fully healthy aside from Franz Wagner. The Sacramento Kings have ruled out Sabonis and Zach LaVine for the season. Kind of wild. We'll see if the NBA has anything to say about this pretty blatant tanking. The Kings have lost 14 in a row. I don't think they came into this season trying to be bad, but at this point, what are they really trying to be? They just got blown out by like 30 by the Jazz. It's all so bleak there in Sacramento, honestly. I guess just tank it out and blow it up and start it over. But Westbrook, DeAndre Hunter, Malik Monk, all on the injury report. Westbrook didn't play there against the Jazz. He probably comes back and plays in this one. DeAndre Hunter was going to be reevaluated in 10 days, so he'll still be out. And Malik Monk dealing with an illness. He should be out there and ready to go. The Kings are getting 8.5 points here at home. That feels like a lot of points for anybody to be getting against the Magic. We've got a total of 224.5. Orlando, though, they're 8-16 against spread on the road, 12-12 against spread after loss, 13-11 to the under on the road. The Kings are 12-16 against spread at home, 15-28 against spread after a loss, and they're a 500 over-under team at home. Guys, I'm not getting anywhere near this game, so keep that in mind. In terms of a side, I will lean just slightly towards the Sacramento Kings here at plus 8.5, but do not ask me to bet this. I'm definitely not betting anything on the Kings here. This is the tiniest of tiny leans. Let's move on. Let's avoid this game. Next up, guys, we've got a pretty big game. We've got the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, the Nuggets at 35-20 on the season, that's actually a very impressive record given just the slew of injuries they've had to deal with this season. Even Jokic missing significant time. They just beat the Grizzlies by 6 going into the All-Star break, but they've been floundering a little. Obviously, guys like Jokic could really use the All-Star break. Give the dude a chance to reset and go play with his horses or whatever. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a big game there against Memphis. Jamal Murray played pretty well, but all the big guns for this team have had to play a lot of minutes, and it's been a lot of work here as they've just dealt with constant injury concerns. Now, coming into this game, there's still some injury concerns. Obviously, Aaron Gordon going to be out for quite a while. That's a huge deal. Spencer Jones, Jalen Pickett, both on the injury report as well. Murray, Brown, Cameron Johnson and Jokic all healthy and ready to go. That was a bigger deal. But Spencer Jones dealing with concussion, didn't play there against the Grizzlies. I fully expect him to be ready to go in this one. Jalen Pickett didn't come back, didn't play anymore in that game against the Grizzlies after playing only 9 minutes. Sounds like there was a chance he could have came back, so I do expect him to be healthy and play in this game as well as they head to LA to take on the Clippers. The Clippers, guys, they beat the Rockets to go into the All-Star break on a little upward trajectory. Kawhi is playing absolutely out of his mind. Played amazing there in All-Star and put up 27 points in his last real game. Everything looked really, really good there for the Clippers. We'll see if Mathurin can continue to be so productive coming off the bench. Obviously, still a little bit of weirdness swirling around the Clippers if they're going to be getting in any sort of trouble for that clear, alleged cap circumvention that they had going on there with the signing and re-signing of Kawhi. Coming into this game, we do still expect to see Darius Garland on the sidelines. He's considered week to week with that toe issue. I don't really know what the goal is for the Clippers this season. I mean, they're around 500, so they could really go either direction. Aside from Garland, they're healthy and ready to go for this one. The Clippers are getting 4.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 226.5. Denver is 19-10 against spread on the road, 19-15 against spread after a win, 19-10 to the over on the road. The Clippers are 11-13 against spread at home, 14-11 against spread after a win, 13-11 to the under at home. I'm going to lean a bit towards the Denver Nuggets here. 4.5 feels maybe a little bit heavy with the way Kawhi is playing right now, but I expect Jokic and company to have kind of a heyday. Like, do we really think Brook Lopez can guard Jokic at this point in his career? Like, I don't really see that being a thing. So give me the Nuggets here, especially playing, playing on the road where they've been very good this year. Now, guys, hopping over to the college basketball side of things, not a ton cooking out there in the college basketball streets here on a kind of tame Thursday. Now, there are definitely some games, but not exactly the biggest names out there. So with the NBA coming back, we're just going to break down a couple of them. And first up, we've got the Memphis Tigers going on the road to take on the South Florida Bulls. Memphis has definitely had a bit of a down season. They're 12-13 overall. They've lost back-to-back games, losing at North Texas and at Utah State. We'll see what they can do against South Florida. They've got 2 showdowns against the Bulls yet this season, but Memphis is going to need absolutely miraculous things to happen if they want any chance to make the NCAA tournament. Suspending Davis probably isn't, overall helping in that endeavor. This team over the course of the season, decent on the boards, mediocre defensively, and really just flat out bad there on offense. So we'll see if they can come with anything positive as they head to South Florida to take on the Bulls, who've been the best team in the American this season with a 10-3 conference record. They've won 4 in a row, taking down UTSA in a blowout, taking down Tulsa, taking down Wichita State at Wichita State, and their last time out was a 83-81 win there at FAU. That was a very, very big win. Playing at FAU, a lot of people thought this was going to be a letdown spot for the Bulls, but they got the job done. Nelson leads the way for this team, 16 points per game and nearly 60% from the field. CJ Brown is one of the best point guards in the American this season. This team is elite offensively, 12th in the nation total offense, elite on the boards, 10th in the nation raw rebounding numbers. The defensive numbers aren't insane necessarily, but we have liked an awful lot of what we've seen from this South Florida Bulls team. That being said, they are 8.5 point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 157.5. Memphis is only 2-8 against the spread on the road this year. They're 13-12 to the over. USF is 6-5 against the spread at home, 13-12 to the over. USF has a trip to Rice on deck, so it is definitely not a look-ahead spot for them. I will take the South Florida Bulls here to get the winning cover in this one by double digits. A lot of weird stuff going on at Memphis right now. I don't think any of that is a net positive for their competitiveness in this game. Definitely give me South Florida in this one. I think they cruise to the win. Last but not least here, guys, we got the Tulane Green Wave going on the road to take the North Texas Mean Green. Now, Tulane 15-10 on the season. Not exactly killing it out there in the American. They're 6-6 in conference play. They're coming off back-to-back wins, though. They took down Temple 77-66 and then went to UAB and won an absolute nail-biter of a rock fight of a game, winning 55-54. Rowan Birnbaum is a monster. 19 points per game, also 4 assists. 44% from the field isn't insane, but he's clearly this team's best player. That being said, they're not really an offense-first kind of squad, or at least sometimes. I mean, they're 300th in the nation total offense. They're giving up 73.6 points per game, so not an incredible defensive team, and the rebounding numbers are very, very troubling. We'll see what they can do here against North Texas, a team that they lost to by 8 earlier this season. That was a home game for Tulane. So we'll see what they can come up with in this one. North Texas 15-11 on the season, but only 6-7 in conference play. They won 3 in a row, getting the win at UTSA, taking down Memphis, and then going to Temple and getting a 65-62 win. So a lot of things have gone the right direction for the Mean Green here recently. They are a very defensive-minded team, giving up only 66 points per game. Jay Sean Stevenson is a good leading scorer, but when you're shooting 37% from the field, I have a few questions. When they, when we saw North Texas beat Tulane earlier this season, they shot 32% from 3, 81% from the free throw line, and had 27 attempts, but Tulane actually had more free throw attempts in that game. North Texas dominated the boards in that one, and that is why they won, and I think that's a big part of why they're the favorites in this game. They're 5.5 point favorites. We've got a total of 135.5. Tulane is 5-2 against the spread on the road. They are 14-9-1 to the under. North Texas is 6-5 against the spread at home, 14-10 to the under themselves. Better than any lean on the side in this game. I actually think under 135.5. Not a big number, but I think that's a very reasonable spot to be. Both teams shot an awful lot of free throws and played a very competitive game with a lot of shot making. I don't think we necessarily see that in this one. If you're begging me for a side, since I think it's going to be a low-scoring under game, I will take Tulane getting those 5.5 points, but my main lean on this one is going to be that under. Guys, that's all the games we have for today here on a pretty busy Thursday. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. It only takes a tenth of a second and really, really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I know a lot of my viewers are not subscribed. Check below and see if you're subscribed. It's free, and it'll keep you from missing these videos. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I can get back to you, and I can also reach out and get your questions answered one one way or the other. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description or in the pinned comment to get over to stumpthespread.com. That's where you'll find all the free stuff. That's where you'll find all the premium stuff. That's where you'll find the email newsletter, which you definitely got to hit up. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.